My name is Daniel, and this is the story of how I discovered that my so-called best friend was never really my friend at all. We met in college. His name was Mark. He was charming, funny, and the kind of guy who could talk his way into or out of anything. Everyone seemed to like him, and for some reason, he picked me to hang out with. I wasn't the most popular guy on campus. I was the quiet one, focused on my studies, working part-time jobs to support myself. Meanwhile, Mark always had money, nice clothes, and this mysterious confidence about him. But he also had this way of making me feel included. He'd say things like, "Bro, we're family, you and me against the world," and I believed him. For years, I trusted him with everything. My secrets, my struggles, even my dreams. He was the first person I called when I got my first job after graduation. He was at my family dinners. My parents treated him like a son, but slowly, little cracks started to appear. Things I ignored at first, things I brushed off because I thought, that's just how Mark is. Like when my wallet went missing at a party and he suddenly showed up with new sneakers the next week. Or when I noticed he'd always forget his card when we went out to eat, and I'd cover him because, well, he was my best friend. But the real betrayal? That came years later, and it started with a girl named Emily. Emily wasn't just any girl. She was someone special. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party, and I swear, the moment she smiled at me, it felt like the world stopped spinning for a second. She wasn't just beautiful. She was kind, smart, and genuine. The kind of person who listened when you spoke and remembered the small details. Mark was there that night too. He was his usual self, loud, cracking jokes, being the center of attention. But for the first time, I wasn't standing in his shadow. Emily and I clicked instantly. Over the next few months, Emily and I grew closer. Coffee dates turned into dinners, and dinners turned into long walks where we'd talk about everything, our dreams, our fears, our future. Eventually, we became official. When I told Mark, he laughed and slapped my back. "Finally, man, I was starting to think you'd die single," he joked. At first, I thought he was happy for me. He'd tag along when Emily and I hung out, third-wheeling without any shame. I didn't think much of it because, well, he was my best friend. But then, little things started bothering me. I'd step out of the room, and when I came back, I'd find him sitting too close to Emily. He'd make comments about how she looked amazing tonight, or he'd tease her in this flirty way that made her uncomfortable. One night, after we dropped him off, Emily finally said, "Daniel, I don't know how to say this, but Mark makes me feel weird sometimes, like he crosses boundaries." I felt defensive. No, that's just Mark. He's like that with everyone. He doesn't mean anything by it." But deep down, a seed of doubt was planted. I brushed it off until the night of my birthday. Emily had planned a surprise dinner for me with close friends. Everyone was laughing, eating, enjoying themselves. When I went to grab my phone from the table and saw a notification I'll never forget, it was a text from Mark to Emily, and it said, "He's too naive to see what's right in front of him. You and I would be perfect together." My hands went cold. My chest tightened. That was the moment I realized Mark wasn't just a bad friend. He was a snake. I couldn't sit still after reading that message. My whole body was shaking with anger and disbelief. For years, I trusted Mark like a brother. We shared everything, our struggles, our victories, our secrets. And now here he was, trying to steal the most important person in my life. I didn't want to ruin my birthday dinner in front of everyone, so I kept quiet that night, but inside, something broke. The next morning, I called Mark. "Hey, can we meet? Just us." He agreed, probably thinking it was just a casual hangout. When we sat down at our favorite cafe, I didn't waste time. I pulled out my phone, opened the message, and slid it across the table. "You want to explain this?" The color drained from his face. He stammered, tried to laugh it off. "Dude, come on, it was a joke. You know me, I mess around," but I cut him off. "A joke? You call hitting on my girlfriend a joke? You call trying to replace me in her life a joke?" His mask slipped. His tone changed. "You don't get it, Daniel. She deserves someone confident, someone who can actually protect her. You're too soft, too boring. She told me herself she wishes you were more like me." That hit me like a knife to the chest. But before I could react, Mark smirked. "Let's be real, man. You've always been second best. You think she really wants you when she could have me?" And that's when I realized this wasn't just betrayal. This was envy that had been building for years. He'd been pretending to be my friend while secretly resenting me, waiting for a chance to take what I had. I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor. "You're not my friend. Not anymore. Stay away from me and stay away from Emily." His last words before I walked out still haunt me. "We'll see, Daniel. Let's see who she really chooses when it comes down to it." That day, I didn't just lose a best friend. I uncovered a dangerous truth. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones holding the sharpest knives. When I left the cafe, my hands hands were still trembling. My so-called best friend had just confessed everything, and now I had to face Emily. That night I sat her down. I showed her the message, told her everything Mark had said, and waited for her reaction. At first, she went silent. Her eyes welled up, and then she whispered, "Daniel, I swear I never said anything like that. He's lying." She grabbed my hand tight. "I love you, not him. He's been making me uncomfortable for weeks, but I didn't want to ruin your friendship. I thought maybe he'd stop." My chest tightened. Part relief, part rage. She had been protecting me, while he'd been plotting behind my back. But then Emily pulled out her phone. "You need to see this." She opened her messages and showed me weeks' worth of texts from Mark. Late-night confessions, guilt-tripping, lines like, "You'd be happier with me. Daniel doesn't deserve you. Just give me one chance." The worst part? The day he texted me at the restaurant, he'd already messaged her too, saying, "I told him, soon you'll see I'm the better choice." My stomach turned. This wasn't just betrayal, it was obsession. Emily leaned into me, her voice breaking. "Daniel, I was scared he might hurt you if I told you earlier. He's not the person you think he is." And just when I thought it couldn't get worse, my phone buzzed again. A new message from an unknown number. "She's lying to you. Meet me tomorrow, and I'll prove it." It was Mark, and I realized this wasn't over. He wasn't letting go. He was ready to go even further. The next morning, I agreed to meet Mark. Public place, middle of the day, just to hear what he had to say. Emily begged me not to go, but I needed closure. We met at the same cafe where he'd betrayed me days earlier. He was already sitting there, jittery, eyes darting like he hadn't slept all night. "Daniel," he said, almost desperate. "You don't get it. She's manipulating you. She's lying. I'm the one who's been here for you, not her." I stayed silent, letting him dig his own grave. He leaned forward, lowering his voice. "She told me she doesn't love you. She just feels sorry for you. I cut him off. "Funny, because I saw the messages, the ones you sent her." His face went pale. His lips twitched, trying to form an excuse. But before he could speak, I put my phone on the table and pressed play. It was a recording, his entire confession from our last meeting. Every single word. The color drained from his face. He tried to laugh it off. "You set me up?" "No, Mark. You set yourself up." He slammed his fist on the table, drawing stares from nearby customers. "She should have been mine, Daniel. After everything I've done for you, everything I sacrificed, she should have chosen me." That's when it clicked. This wasn't friendship. This was envy, rotting him from the inside for years. I stood up. "You were never my friend. You were just waiting for me to fail." And with that, I walked out. Later that week, Emily and I blocked him everywhere. He tried calling, texting, even showing up at her work. But I wasn't going to let him ruin our lives any longer. I sent the recordings and screenshots to his employer. Turns out they didn't appreciate employees harassing others. He lost his job within days. The last I heard, he moved to another city. And Emily, she stayed with me, stronger than ever. I lost a friend, but I gained the truth. Sometimes betrayal isn't a knife in the back. It's a slow poison, and walking away is the only antidote.